What's up, guys? We're going to jump into this video, man. Listen, if this isn't a security breach, I don't know what is. Looks like the Trump administration is still doing BS while this guy's in office. Now, right now, we have a security breach, man, which it's uncalled for. It's unexplicable. You can't explain this nonsense, including the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. How could you guys let the war plans leak? And how could you talk about our allies like this? This is crazy. Donald Trump has been in office a few months, and he has caused so many problems in these first few months than he did in his last 4 years, man. This is nuts. He has ripped apart relationships with our allies, our border brothers, Canada. He's done them dirty. It's enough, man. We got to put an end to this nonsense, man. This is crazy. So let's jump into this video, see what's going on. How do they let these war plans leak? It's crazy. It's nonsense. Let's go. And they're supposed to be the head of security. National security. Come on, man.
This is a remarkable story. This cutting into your regular programming. Normally I do my videos in the morning, but this just broke, and holy shit. If Pete Hegseth doesn't resign, is not forced to resign, if
get him out of there.
Waltz, the National Security Advisor for the president, doesn't resign.
Get him out of there.
The Vice President of the United States of America doesn't resign over this insane security breach. It proves the Trump administration doesn't give a single shit about national security, about information security, about our posture on a global stage as a serious force.
Yeah.
This is from The Atlantic, and Jeffrey Goldberg, who was texted in a signal thread the war plans against Yemen.
He's a journalist. Why the hell are y'all texting a journalist the war plans? How did this even happen? America is becoming a joke. And it's sad. It's like right in front of our eyes, it's becoming a joke. Look who we have in office as a president, a comedian. He's trying to be a dictator. It's like, what the hell's going on, guys? For real.
Our missile strikes against the Houthis. This is the headline from The Atlantic, and I'm not kidding. This is the biggest news story that we faced since Donald Trump took office. The Atlantic. The Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans. U.S. national security leaders included me in a group chat about upcoming military strikes in Yemen. I didn't think it could be real. Then the bombs started falling. The Secretary of Defense of the United States of America, the Vice President of the United States of America, the National Security Advisor to the President of the United States of America, and ostensibly a domestic policy advisor, Stephen Miller, was also on this thread. And they're all yucking it up. After the bombs start dropping, they're sending their fist bump, American flag, fire emojis to a journalist with no security clearance.
Yeah, what the
fuck? No need to know. They don't even know he's on the thread.
How did he get on there? This has to be a setup.
There's a lot of talk, and I'm going to get to a few paragraphs from this article, but there's a lot of talk about meritocracy, bringing it back. Going away from DEI, where people are just chosen for a job because of their skin color or because of their gender or because of what other thing. Right? Remember all this. Remember this.
Hold on now.
We need the best people, the strongest people, the people with the most merit. So they chose Pete Hegseth and J.D. Vance to be that. People so bereft of understanding or adherence to OPSEC, to information security, that they're including writers from the Atlantic on top secret, highly classified, highly sensitive war and battle plans before it took place. The world found out shortly before 2 p.m. Eastern time on March 15th that the U.S. was bombing Houthi targets across Yemen. I, however, knew 2 hours before the first bombs exploded that the attack might be coming. The reason I knew this is that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, had texted me a war plan at 11:44 a.m. The plan included precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing. This is going to require some explaining. Now, before I get to a little bit of the explaining, to give you a preview, you should go read this entire Atlantic article. This is a remarkable breach. This points to the fact that never seen a glass of whiskey he didn't like, Pete Hegseth, this is coming from someone who enjoys a glass of whiskey or two, is not qualified, was not qualified when Donald Trump nominated him, was not qualified when the Senate confirmed him, and day after day after day puts our national security posture in a worse space than it was before he was Secretary of Defense. We're going from Secretary of Defense Austin, from the likes of General Mattis, even going back as far as that in Donald Trump's first administration. People who understand the job, people who respect, who gets to know things, who respect top secret, who just basically understand intelligence. And I don't mean intelligence like Donald Trump would think of it. I have the best words. I say the best words. I'm a very stable genius. Woman, man, camera, blah. No, I'm talking about military intelligence, operational intelligence.
Intelligence that's privy to certain individuals, which needs to be respected. And why in the hell are you guys on Signal talking about war plans? What the hell is this? Why are you even texting this type of information? Given the world that we live in today, where things get leaked, things get hacked, why are you talking about such precious information through text message? These are things you need to talk about when you have meetings face to face. Y'all are texting and stuff. Like it seems like this is just a fake plan. I don't even know if this is real. But it's crazy to think that the national security are leaking things like, come on, man. This is a security breach, bro. At the highest level, these guys need to be fired and they need to go. They have to go. We can't have this type of nonsense going. They need to take old Trump with them on out the door. Get him on out of here.
They're sharing it on messaging apps with journalists. What if it wasn't Jeffrey Goldberg? What if it was someone from Russia Today? What if it was someone outside of the scope of American media? It could have been a lot worse. We should say that it at least it fell into the lap of Jeffrey Goldberg and not somebody else who would have alerted or done something to put U.S. troops in harm's way, something that apparently Pete Hegseth doesn't give a single shit about. A couple more paragraphs here. On Tuesday, March 11th, I received a connection request on Signal from a user identified as Michael Waltz. Signal is an open source encrypted messaging service popular with journalists and others who seek more privacy than other text messaging services are capable of delivering. I assumed that the Michael Waltz in question was President Donald Trump's national security advisor. I did not assume, however, that the request was from the actual Michael Waltz. I have met him in the past, and though I didn't find it particularly strange that he might be reaching out to me, I did think it somewhat unusual given the Trump administration's contentious relationship with journalists and Trump's periodic fixation on me specifically. It immediately crossed my mind that someone could be masquerading as Waltz in order to somehow entrap me. It is not at all uncommon these days for nefarious actors to try to induce journalists to share information that could be used against them. I accepted the connection request, hoping that this was the actual national security advisor and that he wanted to chat about Ukraine or Iran or some other important matter. 2 days later, Thursday, at 4:28 p.m., I received a notice that I was to be included in a Signal chat group. It was called the Houthi PC Small Group. A message to the group from Michael Waltz read as follows: Team, establishing a principles, spelled it incorrectly or used the wrong form of the word, principles group for coordination on Houthis, particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy Alex Wong is putting together a Tiger team at deputies/agency chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the situation room this morning for action items, and we'll be sending that over later this evening. Wow. Look, I get it when people text that they're not really at their best grammatically and sentence structure and shit. I try to be, but that was a nightmare. The bigger nightmare is the fact that they shared classified, confidential, highly sensitive war plans. If you go further into the article, but they include shit like this. You think we should do it? Let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. From the Vice President of the United States of America on an unsecure line with people who weren't in the need to know. J.D. Vance, something they like to talk about a lot, was that he is a former United States Marine, much like I was. He should know better, right? Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, to the VP, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. If you ever wondered if these people talk like they do on the news when they're in private with one another, this should belay that concern, because they do. They are just as stupid in private as they are in public. And this is grounds for dismissal. This is every American should be calling for the resignation of Pete Hegseth.
That's right.
Of the Vice President of the United States as well, as as the National Security Advisor. Stephen Miller, throw him in there as well.
Get him out.
Putting the country in danger. They are jeopardizing and compromising our national security and military operations. Whether you agree with the military operation or not, it's not their role to be doing this. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. Holy shit. Again, what's the fifth, sixth time I've said it? Big, huge story. What do you think? You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576.
Hold on, no. We ain't going to... Listen, guys. I'm doing this video. We're going to look and see about the text message and what else they said in there. That's not all they said, buddy. It's J.D. Vance. So he read that in the video. If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's just make sure our messaging is tight here, which it's not. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. Of course, man, they don't want to miss out on that Saudi Arabia oil, that money that America has their hands in. Let's keep it real now. Pete Hegseth said, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. But Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is as good a time as any, given President's directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but the President still retains 24 hours of decision space. As I heard it, the President was clear. Green light. But we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. If Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. Agree, said Pete Hegseth. Let's get down here. Houthi PC Small Group. Now, I guess this is after the bomb started to fly. J.D. Vance said, excellent. John Ratcliffe, a good start. Michael Waltz, a fist, an American flag, and a fire emoji. Good job, Pete and your team. The team in Mal did a great job as well. They say Mal, so Mali. I'm not sure if they're talking about Mali. If you guys know, let me know. I'm not sure on that point. Great work, all. Powerful start. So there you have it, man. There go the text messages, like what he was saying above. Let's make sure our messaging is tight. Come on, man, you guys leak this to everyone, man. This is crazy. But anyway, let me know down in the comment. What do you think about this nonsense? Can we call for an impeachment with this going on or not? I need to know. Come on, man. They're doing too much. But I'll see you guys in the next video.